Which pond? So I'm English! Woo! Yes! I love living in New York. I mean, you've got things here which we just don't have in England. For example, the other day I was trying a dress on in a shop, and another customer came up to me and said, "It doesn't suit you!" We don't have that in England. Another thing you've got here, weed. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. I was walking my little daughter to school the other day, and she said, "Mummy, why do the streets of New York smell just like Daddy?" They know my husband. I got into a cab the other day, a very New York experience, you know, the yellow cab. Yeah, of course you do, because you're a taxi driver. I don't know why I'm connecting that. It's Stuart there. Oh, no, fine. And the driver heard my accent, and he said, "Where are you from? You sound British!" Yes, I am British. You destroyed my country! I'm sorry, what country is that? Palestine! And I'm thinking, wait till he finds out I'm a Jew. Yeah. It's alright. He's worried for me. So as you can tell, yeah, I'm English. My parents still live in England, which means I have a very strong texting relationship with my mother. But she hasn't quite got the hang of it yet. You know, the whole brevity thing seems to be eluding her. I'm just going to share with you some of the crap I have to put up with. So here we go. Right. Just get this correct. There we go. So I text her, "Mum, no reason for alarm, but Alice fell and broke her wrist. She's fine and on the mend." She replies, "I'm so grateful for your advice not to be alarmed." "When it comes to the health and well-being of Alice, even the slightest setback would be alarming to me. It's not just Alice I worry about. I harbour anxiety about all my grandchildren." "How did Alice fall and break her wrist in the first place?" "Don't tell me you ignored my advice and got her a skateboard for her." "This news has reminded me of when Ruby," that's my eldest, "fell off her pogo stick. I told your father at the time that the pogo stick was a bad idea." "You know, Auntie Mavis used to be a radiologist and was wondering what bone Alice broke. Was it the scaphoid or was it the distal radius? Mavis says that if it is in fact the scaphoid, it takes significantly longer to heal. I'm not surprised Alice is fine. From the moment she was born, I felt that she was an excessively positive child. So glad she's on the road to recovery. On to another subject. In your last text to me, you wrote, "We're going out for dinner tonight, love, Debra." I couldn't help but notice that there was no period after the word dinner. I've noticed this is the case in your texts more often than not. I only mention this because you share my great respect for proper punctuation. Oh my love, Mum. I wrote back, "Thanks." Period. She writes back, brace yourself, "I want to confide in you that your brother has finally consulted a doctor about his COVID symptoms. He's a Jewish doctor, which is good. But I'm not quite sure of his credentials. He prescribed him a medication I've now read about on the internet. It's there, it's internet. And which apparently is normally used to treat worms in horses. I was thinking that maybe this doctor is really a veterinarian. Unusual for a Jew, don't you think? I've come across some horrific stories of people doing themselves untold damage using this medication, specifically nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, hypertension, itching and hives, dizziness, ataxia, seizures, coma and death. I'm now going to watch a TV programme for a couple of hours to take my mind off it. Love you, Mum. I mean, I've got the latest, thank you, I've got so welcome, thank you. Oh God, I mean, I do have the latest iPhone, but I don't think I've got the megabytes to continue this relationship. Anyway, I will finish with one quick story. I have 3 daughters. I recently took them to the musical Six. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's about Henry VIII and his 6 wives. And I thought, well, this will be educational. And it was, but not in the way I thought it would be. Because Anne Boleyn comes on stage and sings, I lost my head, but I gave good head. Alice turns to me and goes, Mummy, what does that mean? And I'm like, it's an old-fashioned way of blowing a kiss. So I'm in the clear. Next day, in the playground, in full view of everyone, she goes, bye, Mummy, I love you.